Okay, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Take two. Sorry about that. Look at you looking all, like, all bedazzled, all like super, like, comfy, biz, cash, like
Very, very cash. No makeup, no nothing on today.
taking the profesh.
No, we're casual, but it's okay.
You look very professional right now.
Thanks, buddy.
My
Thank you.
God, well put together.
Thanks, bud.
Fit check. No, just kidding. Welcome back to the podcast. We are just two average, and I mean average girls taking their phone calls to the podcast.
You're welcome.
Yes, there is a reason why we are sitting out in this car. Because y'all are saying, wait a minute, where are you? Where's Jody Boulevard? Where's the blue velvet couch?
Yeah, we need to tell you guys what happened.
So we'll just start this podcast off with that. Welcome
we got
back.
some tea. We got some tea, and it is hot. It's hot.
So a couple weeks ago, we recorded some podcasts.
Mhm.
And those podcasts are just coming out now. And in those podcasts, there's one in particular.
Yep.
And listen back if you hear it, because Shaba specifically says it. In one moment you go, I just got the chills so bad.
Yep. I definitely said that.
I thought something of it. I didn't know if she did. I wasn't going to freak her out. I'm like, interesting, because like the wind, nothing in the room changed. Strange.
Yep.
There was another time that I don't know if I even like officially, I think I said it to you, but like there was another time where we were on the blue velvet couch sitting like just like this.
Mhm.
And we had the thing over us, the shawl, the thing, the throw, the blanket.
Yep.
And I thought I felt something like scoof by our legs.
Yep. I remember you saying that, bud.
So, and then there was a couple times I'm like, God, did I just see something? Like I kind of got a little bit startled.
Mm-hmm.
This last time we were in there, now, could we be just could we be just two women who just happen to feel like maybe we just got like the chilly willies?
Were you going to say hormonal?
Yeah, I was going to say hormonal.
No.
I was going to say hormonal.
No, trust me, I can definitely feel energy, and I wasn't about that life. Nope.
So I too felt kind of something that night, and at first I didn't verbalize it to Shaba. I felt it early on.
This was just last week, by the way.
Just
because we record literally once a week.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And so like it's daylight out, like we could be in there. And listen, last week was weird.
No, we need to bring some sage. So we need to bring some sage. We need to bring in a minister.
Is there any ghost hunters, or I don't even want to say ghost hunters. No, but
like a minister, some sage. I don't know. Like I really honestly don't know. Just maybe some salts. I don't know. But what I do know is that last Friday when we were recording, you felt like something was off. You didn't say anything right away.
For sure.
And I start getting this like uneasy feeling. And things don't typically freak me out very easily. But when I say that this feeling was very uneasy, I was like, yeah, I don't know right now. Like, I really don't want to be here anymore. And you were like, why? And I was like, yeah, I'm glad we're leaving right now because I'm just getting like this really uncomfortable feeling. And you were like, Shabs, like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And I was like, no, I'm being totally serious. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny right now. I'm really getting this uneasy feeling.
I didn't even want to get off the couch.
Sure enough, what happens? I get chills again. But it wasn't like, okay, you know how somebody's like, oh, I have chills. And they usually say it's like an angel flying above you or something like that. No, it wasn't like that kind of chills. Like I straight up, my arm hairs were sticking up. Like they felt like they were sticking up type of thing. And I was like, yeah, I'm not here for this right now. Yeah, I'm like, I think we really need to go. And it was to the point where I was like, yeah, I don't know what that was. I'm not coming back for a little bit because it's just something about the energy. There was something that I felt that just, it just felt off. It felt really off. So I don't know. I don't know what we need to do. I do have sage at home. But like I said, I think now, like maybe bringing in a minister. Dude, I'm serious. Like, I am so serious. Some holy water.
Listen.
I don't know. I don't mess around with that stuff. Like, I'm just saying, like, how I felt. I've never had that uneasy
It was just
feeling
kind of
anywhere
weird.
before.
It was just kind of weird. And we've
Yeah,
been in there plenty of times.
we've been there plenty of times. I felt like just like, just kind of like, but then it, like you said, it could just be anything. But that particular night, I was like, yeah, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore.
I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, okay.
Yeah. Honest to God, guys. Honest to God. Like, we're not even trying to be funny. We're not telling you stories. Like, we're being totally serious right now. Like,
this is the only way I can explain it.
Yeah.
Imagine going into a space.
Yep.
That is so lifeless and so quiet that it almost feels like something's there, just with how like quiet and almost dead like it is.
Yeah. And I've been there alone eating lunch before, remember? Yeah. I was totally fine.
Sean
like
was
on my
so
lunch
excited.
break.
At first she was like, this is great. I'm going to go to the spot,
Yeah, to have my lunch. There. Like, I'm going to bring my lunch here and have lunch one day. And,
but initially you didn't feel that.
No, I didn't feel that. And a friend came and joined me, so I wouldn't have lunch by myself. It was fine. And then I went back to work and it was okay. Everything was fine. But yeah, no, I will never go in there alone ever again. It was that one time though, so that was fine. But like, I will never go in there alone again. And as far as going back, it will be during daylight and it will be with you. Because I don't know if
I would just like chill in there.
Yeah, no.
Like,
nope.
Oh.
No.
Would you go in there and like try to take a nap?
No. Nope. Like I said, I don't know what it is we need, but like definitely some sage or a minister, holy water. I don't know, but we need something because I'm not.
Facts.
I'm not even being funny.
Facts.
Yeah.
So we have that. So right now we're sitting in the car, but it's really nice out because actually it's very mild out. It's in the mid 50s right now. We're in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And we always have the equipment on us, so it's like no problem. And as long as now that people like the videos, as long as you guys can see us and we do the talking, it works for us. And eventually, we also didn't want to go to Cumberland Farms because we always get interrupted there. So we wanted to be in a place where we were kind of like out of the way, where people didn't recognize us, but also in a spot that made sense.
Right. And we love everybody saying hi, but there's sometimes where like we're smack dab recording and we're just trying to get a certain amount of episodes done and we're focused. And, like when we make the episodes, it's never forced. We actually are having conversations and there's ideas that are written down in the shared notes or whatever. But it's like, sometimes people will come and then a conversation's like a good half an hour, 45 minutes. And then we're like, okay, well, we finished 2 episodes and we were hoping to get 4 done, but we have 2 done.
Right.
Yeah. So
then when you try to stay on a schedule and you try to get ahead a little bit, that's where it becomes a little bit gnarly because, the weeks go by fast. Right. And if you like at one point, like we have almost 100 episodes, even at twice a week, that's a ton of work.
It's a ton of work.
You edit them, you put them up. So, but I can already tell you based on the numbers, like y'all did not like that long form content.
Yeah. You guys weren't about that life.
As soon as we went back to that short term, so I don't really care about the algorithm or whatever, the monetization. I care more about what you guys like. And I like to see the numbers go up.
Right.
And we have some new fans like in Taiwan.
I saw that.
Canada, Germany, like
super cool. Yeah. Hey.
And that's just the last week. So
yeah, that's pretty fire. That's pretty fire.
Ooh, it's been such a long week.
It's been a week.
Shit. Like I feel
it's been a week. It's been the weakest week ever.
It has been the weakest week ever. And if I could just say, like, I think for me, what drove me nuts this week, I did tell you this off air, is that this week people just do not read. They don't read body language. They don't read social cues. They don't read anything. Nope. And then when you tell them something and they still don't listen, I'm just beside myself. I've had like 3 incidences this week, and I'm not going to even say in what form they're related to or anything like that, because quite frankly, it doesn't matter.
Right.
This could be so relatable to so many things. But like the idea was that, and on 3 different accounts this week, I had to one time say, you know what, let's not even like discuss this. Let's not go down this route because I don't like conflict. Right. And I'm not here to put my feelings onto anyone unless they're open to receive it. I think that's only fair.
Right. Facts.
So if I say that to somebody, that's because I'm saying, hey, listen, there's like a million other things we could talk about.
For sure.
But then they keep going.
Yep.
And then you tell them, please, and then they keep going.
For sure.
What?
Absolutely.
Like, it doesn't even, that could be anything. You tell people, listen, let's not. It's still, this could be even about talking about someone else. You're in a group and somebody starts talking about somebody that you just don't like to talk about people.
Right.
You could be like, listen, respectfully,
I don't want any parts of this conversation.
I don't want parts of this. I'm not a shit
talker.
talker.
I don't talk about people. Yeah.
Still applicable.
Exactly. For sure.
But I've had 3 instances and it drains my social battery. Like, y'all want to do things and hang out and communicate. And then people wonder why, like, you're so zipped up. It's because people don't listen.
Yeah,
people
man.
Don't listen. They don't listen. And the other thing I realized too, and sometimes I'll watch people and I'll kind of like give them a little bit more of like an extended like pause, like you're not listening to what I'm saying to you. Is people reply because they want you to hear their reply. They don't listen to what you're saying.
Nope.
So the conversation is, I'm telling you how I feel, and then they're going to tell you how they feel. There's no real communication.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's interesting you should say that because I've noticed this week, both on a personal side and, other ways, communication is very lacking. And I think a lot of the time it is how somebody perceives something too, right?
100%.
So like you said, on both ways. So if you're saying to somebody or your body language is saying to them, sorry, allergies are starting to act up.
And I've got itchy skin and like,
I'm like, oh my gosh.
No, for real.
But you're saying to them that you don't want to talk about something or you're trying to explain something and they are only hearing it from their perspective. That's an issue. That's something that's come up. But something I've noticed like exponentially this week is lack of communication. It's definitely Friday.
Yeah.
Lack of communication altogether in so many aspects of life. Like sometimes not even directly having to do with me. Sometimes it does. But like when I say lack of communication, just, there could be a scenario or something that you wanted somebody to be aware of or something like that, and it not being communicated to you, right? And then something happens and then somebody is upset about something or something's not done or whatever the situation is, and you're thinking in your head, but if that had been communicated, then I would have known about that, but it wasn't communicated. So how would I have known?
100%.
You know what I mean?
Lack of communication leads to like, I would say 80% of the workplace issues. Lack of communication.
Oh, that's true.
Lack of communication. Like even with us too,
for sure.
all the issues, all the frustrations, all the problems, it's always due to one thing, is lack of communication.
Right.
And I get it. Some places you're really busy and sometimes it gets hard and things slip through the cracks, but ooh, shit.
I had a conversation with a friend this week about something, that I just happened to be thinking about. And I even said, and I was like, I said to this person, I'm like, I, wasn't aware of that. And they were saying that they thought that somebody else was going to relay this particular discussion to, said individuals or whatever. And that didn't happen. And and that ended up being an issue for something. You know what I mean?
Oh, I had an issue this week. Something wasn't relayed to me and I was going off of something else. And then the customer in turn was very frustrated because the customer's like, do you even know what you're talking about? And it looks like you don't know what you're talking about.
But it wasn't relayed to you.
But it wasn't relayed. And I'm going based off this info with no notes.
Exactly.
So it's, I'm telling you.
Exactly.
We need to work as individuals, as people. I think communication we lack so much of.
We do.
Is there communication classes?
There are plenty of communication classes. Well, I know on a professional level there are, but like personally, I don't know. I'm sure there's got to be.
We should do like shop.
There's got to be something on LinkedIn or something
communication
for that.
Course.
We could. I mean, honestly, we could do that.
Yeah.
There's
sit up, settle down, and
buckle up,
buttercup.
Or there's got to be something like LinkedIn has a lot of awesome free courses as well too for different things like that.
LinkedIn can suck a fat one. I am so freaking tired of LinkedIn. And you know what? This is going on LinkedIn. So if any of my LinkedIn followers are listening, I hope you are, because I'm talking to you. Like, oh, Kate, I really want to connect with you. So listen, I have a 401k, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yo, another one, like 5 a
Oh,
day,
yeah.
financial
Oh my
advisors. Like,
gosh. Yep.
that's not how you're going to get somebody with a portfolio to come over to you, is for you to say, oh, hey, listen, I got a really good blah, 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 blah. No, dude, like that, you're like
Yep.
25 other people. You got to get creative, bro.
That is still ongoing on LinkedIn, which is really annoying.
Annoying as
Remember back in the day, or not back in the day, this was literally like a year ago or a
back
year
in the
and a
day
half
replay.
ago. Yeah, back in the day replay. But LinkedIn, it was like people thought it was a dating website. Remember, I had gotten a few messages on LinkedIn, and remember there was somebody, I think,
Yes.
yeah, LinkedIn. People send you messages trying to, yeah. I was
Get
like,
your
it's LinkedIn.
401k
I'm like, it's
managed.
LinkedIn. What are we doing? It's LinkedIn. It's a professional like platform. What are we doing here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gone downhill.
It has
So
gone downhill. I don't use it as much. I do stay in contact with people professionally, and I do, respond and follow up. Or I kind of scroll through or whatever, but I'm kind of over all social media, to be honest with you. I'd be okay without social
doesn't
media.
she say this every time? Like
I
honestly,
do,
every
because it's
time
true.
you
I
hear
like,
the
honest to God, like I know I say this all the time. I would be okay with just Instagram, like posting like photos of different things. Honest to God, I would
honest
be
to God.
okay. Like yeah, I would be okay. I'm just kind of over social media. It's kind of annoying.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen with TikTok. I can tell you right now that
I wouldn't miss TikTok.
uh,
Actually, I would for this. I would for this page. I would, because we do have quite a few people
did
that
you
follow
even
us on
say
TikTok.
that?
But I, like, myself watching TikTok, I know everybody's going to be like, Shabs, what the heck are you talking about?
I'm
I
legit going to
watch
miss
I watch
like
reels. I watch reels, but like,
I can't stand it. I can't. Your reels are fine for 5 or 10 minutes, but when I want to get into the goose and juice, no, I'm just kidding. I don't drink goose and juice. But
I honest to God,
I
like,
want TikTok.
I would be
TikTok
fine.
is the goose and juice of social media.
I would be fine without TikTok. I
You
would be
heard it.
fine without Facebook. I would be fine without I would be fine without it. I don't even use Twitter. I don't have a Twitter.
I never got into that anyway.
Yeah, like, I would be honest to God, I would be fine without it. And honestly,
Look
if
at
I
that
could get,
woman's galoshes, dude.
I know
Don't
she looks so adorable.
she does,
If
but those are hard to walk
I
in.
know those
Those are tall.
those look really. I was just thinking that too.
Tell you what, her calves don't fill out those boots like mine do.
They don't. They really don't. But I mean, she's
Okay.
doing her thing. She looks cute.
Dude, tell me she's not gonna leave her fucking cart
Why do
there.
people do that? That is
Dude.
so annoying. Oh my God.
You could have
Girl,
brought
bye.
your cart all
Girl,
the way
bye.
back.
You could have
because
brought,
you could have
exactly.
brought
It's
it
literally
back.
right there. You're
You
so
left it
small.
literally right
That's
there.
just being lazy, bro. That is just being lazy. You could have taken that cart and
How old is
literally
she?
returned it right there.
Shameful.
Dude. I don't like, dude, that's
I'm
so
very
lazy.
upset.
That is so lazy. What the hell?
What is she doing now?
Yeah. What is she doing? What?
Jeez. Back in the day, we used to have now Shaba also said something today which reminded
Dude, she looks young.
very young. I almost want to go up to her and say, listen,
Hey, you
listen,
couldn't literally,
50
you
more
brought it
feet
there
and
and
you
brought it
could have
over
brought
to
it over
right
there.
in
Why
front.
did
Thank
you do
you.
that?
Like, there's a spot right there that's
You
not
could've-
too far. You could walk
Right.
across there. But if you're gonna walk up there and leave it right on that little curb,
Frickin'
you could
Dan
have
has
walked
so many
over.
carts to
Yeah,
get.
you could have literally walked over there and brought it right back to the front. That is just so lazy. Speaking of lazy, I wonder. Oh, my phone's in the car. I wanted to know how many steps I've gotten if I hit my goal.
Okay. I want to say this though. Do you remember? Well, I forgot when you came back to your timeline and your artificial intelligence, but back in like in the 90s, over here was it Blockbuster?
It was, yeah, there was a Blockbuster.
No, I don't think it was a Blockbuster.
No, but there was okay. So
we had a movie theater.
We had a movie. We're a movie store.
We had a movie store where you rented movies.
Yep.
Kids, if you're listening.
There was another pharmacy.
There was Brooks.
Yep, there was Oh, it was Brooks.
Remember
Thank
Brooks
you.
Pharmacy?
Yep, there was Brooks there. There was
over there was
a pet store.
Fashion Bug.
Dude, that's right. I got a purse from Fashion Bug. Bro, how could I forget that? There was a pet store over there too. We had a pet store over here at one time.
We had a pet store, but then
was that the 90s though, or was that after?
Friedrich's Jewelers was over there.
Dude, I remember Friedrich's. I have a charm from there still to this day.
Yep, CVS, Friedrich's Jewelers. Then we had the Friedrich's was there.
Yeah,
I think we're AT&T and H&R Block. I think that was the movie store. That was Brooks Pharmacy. That was Friedrich's Jewelers.
Yeah.
This was Fashion Bug.
Yep.
And this was Aubuchon's.
Yes, I remember now because they used to have their sleds right out there.
Yeah.
It's coming back to me. It's
this plaza. So, listen, on a Friday night, Saturday night, you'd come down here. You didn't have cell phones.
Yep.
It's not like you were hanging out with your friends as
Life
much as you do now.
Life
you do not hang out with your friends like that. If you went to your friend's house once a weekend for a sleepover, maybe. It wasn't like all the time like it is now.
No, it wasn't. It really... Actually, that's true.
You're
during
right.
The weekday, sleepovers weren't really like a huge thing when we were younger.
During the week, I really never had friends over unless I had sports or something like that. And then I came home. We always ate dinner at the same time. And my house was quiet because my dad worked and my mom was tired.
I had like maybe... I had like in high school, I probably had like one friend. I had like one friend over and then one boyfriend that came over my like junior and senior year. And that was about it. Like for during the week, but it wasn't really frequent though.
It wasn't like it is now.
Like it is. Yeah, it's like every day they have to be doing something.
So you'd come here. So there was a couple things you could do. You go to Big Y. You could get your Surge. You could get your Arizona tea. You could get your Fruitopia. You could get whatever the frick you wanted.
Oh, Fruitopia, dude! I remember them in the plastic bottle. Yeah, loved Fruitopia.
Your parents might get a TV guide.
We had some at school too. Do you remember that? We had a Fruitopia machine at school.
Not at my school.
At the high school, we did. Honest to God, if somebody remembers, if you guys want to
at the high school that I went to.
Yeah, we did.
I don't remember that.
We had a Fruitopia machine, bro.
We'll ask them.
Mm-hmm. If you guys remember, let me know.
You go to Big Y, then you go to the movie store. You'd rent a couple movies.
Mm-hmm. We get the box candy from in there too.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah, that was a huge deal.
You'd go home and that was it. And then you had to...
It was a big deal for your family.
The movies back.
I remember.
You had to rewind them. They preferred you rewind them. Otherwise, they had to put them in their rewind thing, but they wanted them.
I remember that.
And then if you didn't bring them back, then you had late fees.
Yep.
And it was a fucking disaster.
I remember that.
Your card.
Dude, those were the good old days.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my God, those were the good old days.
Okay, so listen to this. Talk about communication. So I was sitting at my desk today and one coworker to the left, one to the right, and they said something. And I looked over and I said, I heard them wrong. I thought they said something along the lines of, my best days have already happened or something like that. And I said, I can understand what you're saying because, well, especially like once you lose a parent, right? Your best days are not going forward. They're just different. I'm not going to say best because I feel like my best days will always be when obviously when my daughter is here, I'm here, my parents are here. So I'm not trying to rewind history, but when we talk about the good old days, like, these are the carefree days. These are the days that we hope our kids feel about their childhood.
For sure.
And their youth.
For sure.
This was the excitement we had. Today, they'd be so fucking bored with our youth. They'd be like, we don't know how you could stand it. But
it was everything for us. It was everything, bro. And like, I literally remember exactly what you're talking about. And I'm seeing the stores now, even though there's nothing like really, unfortunately, in this plaza. But I can remember.
Lit up.
I
there was
see,
more
like,
action.
I literally see all of it. I really do.
There was more here. Do you know that, like, the smell of cut grass? Because people came home on Fridays. They cracked open a cold beer.
It was awesome.
Lawnmowers were going. The sun's coming down.
Those were the good old days. It was just life was
simple. We're so disconnected.
It's just so simple. There was somebody at work. Sorry, I'm looking at my watch because of the time, but there was somebody at work today. We were actually talking about this because we were talking about something regarding her daughter, and she brought up an excellent point. And you've said this in previous podcasts too. We didn't have social media then.
No,
we didn't have. There's way too much There's way too much access to social media now. That's why kids aren't able to be kids. Sorry, I have to like rub my nose. So bad.
I think technology has bogged down people's brains so much that the reality is like the birds are chirping right now, but because people are so mesmerized and into their phones, they can't hear the birds chirping. I even think your sense of smell is distorted. I don't think we smell things like we used to.
Yeah.
We're not in tune with the present.
And there's not... that's deep.
Grounding,
we're not.
Present.
Yeah, it's
saying,
true.
I hear the birds.
A simple appreciation for that stuff. Right. There's not a simple appreciation for it. Dude, I look so forward to walking outside barefooted in my yard.
Well, I've got a lot of things to
I
talk
look
about
forward
in
to
a lot
doing
of the
that.
upcoming episodes, and it's interesting because some of the tips
I'm
in
here
what
for
we're
it.
about to
I'm
talk
here for
about
it.
includes grounding. And
I'm so here for it.
we're wrapping this episode up, but I do want to tease you just a little bit because
Okay.
you're going to be quite excited with what I'm about to share with you.
Okay, bud.
But in a couple episodes ago and off air, you and I have talked about, remember how I talked
Love
about,
that.
give me 1 second here. Okay.
Your handwriting's fire, by the way.
Remember when I talked about how I feel like you don't do well with technology, how you could, and people I know,
I can do the basics. I get by.
and people I know
Yep.
that even like clocks that they wear, watches will stop. They have a hard time
Yes.
with electronics.
Yes.
Well, I did some research on it and there's not a lot talked about this. So this podcast is going to be very interesting to see how this does with the viewers, because there's actually a name for it, and it's called the slider personality. Or I should say, let me take this back. The slider person. Okay. And it stands for, the SLI stands for street light interference. Slider person, also known as high voltage syndrome, is a real thing.
Ooh, I want to hear about that. I'm excited.
I'm
really excited to talk about
so
that.
So if you know of anybody who sometimes electronics seem to go haywire, sometimes maybe when they are going under a light, and this is true, there's a reason behind that. It might flicker, light bulbs will smash, crack, flicker, anything like this. There's a name for it.
Dude, I'm a little freaked out right now, but yeah.
Yep. I've done a lot of research on it, and I told Shaba that there was a name for it because I know people like this. Yeah. And we're going to talk about it on the upcoming episodes.
Well,
stay tuned. Thanks for being here and letting us ramble to you. We love you.
We love you.
Please visit us on twotalkingfools.com where our merchandise is, because when you support us, when you buy our merchandise, it supports us to keep going, and we need to keep going. So thank you.
We love you guys. Follow all of our pages: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of it.
Every